Phone scams.
Scam.
Another actor has now fallen prey to deep fakes.
There are 35 plus hotspots in India. Those are identified as a very active source of these cybercrime activities.
Okay, before we discuss today's topic, I want to share two incidents that provoked me to shoot this video. So back in November last year, I was about to go for a short trip with my friends, and the moment we boarded the ferry, I got a call from a person claiming to be my dad's colleague. And my dad was also traveling at the same time, so I thought he's trying to reach me through somebody else. The person on the call goes like, my dad has to pay him 1.5 lakh rupees and he's asked them to reach out to me for this money. I was like, wait, what's happening? He mentioned he's gonna call me back in some time to share the bank account details to transfer the money to. I realized immediately that something fishy was going on here, even though the call sounded quite legit. So I called my dad to confirm if he owed somebody 1.5 lakh rupees, and he denied any such transaction. The very next day, I read this tweet. This one was about the infamous FedEx scam, where a customer care exec from FedEx will call you and say that your Aadhaar card is being misused to send packages with drugs to different countries. Honestly, the creativity in how cyber crimes are evolving on the daily is getting scary and really tough to keep up with. You know, according to Jim Browning, a scam baiting YouTuber with more than 4 million followers, over 95% of global scam calls originate from India. It has become so bad that we are literally being called the scam capital of the world. Question is, why is this happening? Is it because we have the largest number of mobile internet users, or did it increase because of job losses during COVID lockdown? Does our jugaad mindset push us in the wrong direction? Also, the larger ask, is there an out from these cyber scam attacks? Also, what can we do to protect ourselves and our loved ones in situations like these? Let's tackle all of these questions through this video. We also interviewed two experts from cybercrime and AI fields to understand this space better. Let me take you through the current situation. Did you know India has lost 10,319 crores to cyber heists since April 2021? And this number should definitely be a cause of concern. Here's why. See, the pace at which we are switching to a digital world to conveniently get all our basic necessities from food, clothing, medicines, and transport is actually labeled with the hidden invisible price of all of our data available publicly. Now, am I saying that we should devolve and go back to the paper and pen way of doing things? Absolutely not, but I think the flip side of what convenience costs is worth paying attention to. Before we dig into the types of these cyber scams, its impact, criminal motivations, let's go a little back in time. Back in 2009, only 2% of Indians were using the internet on their mobile devices. Fast forward to 2024, India has become the second largest internet population in the world with over 1.2 billion users. And get this, around 1.05 billion of them are accessing the internet through their mobile phones. Now here's the catch. While this digital revolution has brought many benefits, it has also opened doors to a new era of cybercrime and data breaches. With such a massive user base, India has become a prime target for scammers and hackers, leading to a series of alarming data leaks in the recent years. I mean, just look at the number of data breaches from the last 5 years. For the sake of clarity, we have categorized them into breaches experienced by private companies, banking companies, and government data. In 2021, Domino's faced a data leak of 180 million orders, including credit card details. And don't even get me started on the banking sector and the government data breaches. From 2018 to 2022, there were 248 data breaches reported by banks, with 41 in public sector banks and 205 in private sector banks. In 2018, 2019, 2020, 2022, there were multiple Aadhaar data breaches, with instances of data leaks including farmers' data from the PM Kisan website, and very recently in 2024 itself, the data of 750 million telecom users was sold on the dark web. While data is crucial for advancement of our world, the convenience we enjoy comes at a cost. For instance, when our parents or grandparents make going to the bank on a weekly basis their whole personality, we are busy using online banking to do the same task. I mean, it's very convenient, right? Why go all the way to a bank when you can do the same task from home? But you will be shocked to learn that of all of the different types of cybercrimes occurring in India, 77% are online financial frauds, as opposed to 12% crimes related to social media and about 2% computer-based cybercrimes. Suddenly, this ritual of going to the bank started seeming more sensible given this data. Now think about this, okay? We think that sharing data in exchange for a free discount at a coffee shop won't be a big deal. At that moment, the discount sounds amazing, but for the company collecting this data, it also reveals more than just what what you share. When you go to the shop again, they might entice you with a new offer and discounts. The more frequently you use their services, the more data they have on your behavior and patterns. And as businesses that operate on a profit-making mindset, being able to sell you more and frequently is possible only because of this data. So data makes it convenient for the businesses to hook you along as a customer. And see, when the same business does not have good security features, all the data that they have collected is available for exploitation. I mean, the incident that I started the video with also reflected that the person claiming to be my dad's colleague also had some knowledge about the money in my account, and that is where it all gets very scary. Imagine that anyone on the internet with some skills to scrape data off the web has access to how much money you have, where you shop from, where you eat, what you watch, and exactly how to trick you into believing that the call or message is real. For example, I want you to meet Arvind Sharma. Last year, he received a call from a deepfake version of former ADG of UP police official threatening to arrest him if he failed to pay money. This incident almost pushed Arvind on the brink of suicide, and he ended up losing an insane amount of money. Question is creating deepfakes this easy that literally anybody and everybody is able to do it? Sounds pretty scary, right? To understand this better, we spoke to some AI experts, and here is what they had to say.
What details does one need to create deepfakes? In today's world, you really don't need a lot of details. You can pretty much create a deepfake of someone just by getting a picture of them. So there's this technology called as wave to lip, which is basically where you take a picture of someone and you take an audio clip of that person saying something, and this is either a cloned audio or your own audio or whatever it is. And when you combine both of these things, the lips in the picture actually starts moving, and you can see a few subtle animations that are happening in the picture. Apparently, this is very interesting statistics. 1 out of every 2 or 3 people in India knows someone who has been scammed using something that is AI related, which is a very interesting statistic. Are there ways to know when something is deep faked? How can someone be aware? One of the things is if the video is, usually when scammers send videos to people pretending to be their relative or something, the videos are normally very short. They're not longer than 10-15 seconds. That's because it's hard to maintain that kind of stability in the video for longer than that amount of time. If they have very similar expressions throughout the video and it doesn't really change that much, that is also an indicator, because you can't really emote that much. One other indicator is most of these scam videos are usually close-ups. So they don't usually show like full body or anything like that because they want to restrict movement. They don't want to show hands too much, etc., etc. And finally, the most obvious indicator is flickering of the screen. So if the person turns their head around, which they usually don't, all these scammers, most of these people don't do a lot of those things. But if you see them turn their head around and see something flicker, or you see something is off about the video, something glitching here and there, it's usually a deep fake. But that being said, all these are very subtle things that you'll have to look for. And for the most part, it is very, very difficult in order to spot what a real deepfake is.
Now, before we move into the psychology of cyber criminals, let's look at some of the regularly occurring cyber crimes. A majority of financial frauds are carried out in Jharkhand. Identity frauds and sextortion scams are majorly happening out of Rajasthan, whereas electricity bill frauds, job frauds, and call center frauds are too common in Delhi. Broadly speaking, all cyber crimes can be categorized into 2 main categories. The first one is online and social media related scams involving fake profiles and impersonating emails where cyber criminals assume false identities. Job fraud, matrimonial fraud, and phishing scams are considered social media scams. Second is online financial fraud. So earlier in the video, I mentioned how they account for around 77% of total crimes. But even under financial frauds, the most commonly occurring type are the UPI frauds. Around last year sometime, somebody I know got a basic scam message saying that PAN expired, your account will be closed today, update this link. He did not confirm if the message was legit, and in a hurry to solve the issue, he clicked on the link and it took him to a spoofed SBI website where he entered his user ID and net banking password, and after that 1.2 lakhs of the amount was transferred to some random Punjab National Bank account. Right after he realized what had happened, he registered a complaint in the police station. They also got in touch with the SBI bank manager where he had an account for the last 30 years, and the bank manager has said that they will try to get back the money, but no guarantees. Well, why are all these cyber crimes becoming so rampant? We spoke to Shashank Shekhar, who's the founder at FCRF, an NGO specializing in cybercrime and security research, about the rise of cybercrimes in India between 2020 and 2023. And here is what he had to say.
Jamtara as a region started with financial frauds. And before we dive into understanding why Jharkhand and why Mewat region, we have to understand the geography of the region. So both Jamtara and the Mewat region are surrounded with different state borders. So West Bengal is there, Jharkhand is there, and Bihar is there for Jamtara. And similarly for Mewat region, Gurgaon is there, Delhi is there, Rajasthan and UP border is there. So it's very porous. So it's easier for cyber criminals, to commit crime and move into these regions. And also, both Jamtara and Mewat region had a criminal history. So people living in Jamtara were into different type of crimes. They were into, coal theft and train robberies. So they have a history of crime. Similarly, Mewat region, lot of criminals came from Mewat, and this area was notorious for crime. As the technology evolved, they were smart, and they understood that no more robberies wouldn't be good enough to continue. So they also became digital. The crime completely depends on the data. The kind of data they get, the kind of script they make, and the kind of people they target. Suppose they get banking data, so they will call as a banker. If they get insurance data, they will call as an insurance guy.
See, while most of you are definitely aware about the different methods of cybercrime, it is necessary to understand what makes cyber criminals. To help you comprehend this better, let me share a few theories from criminology. So, criminologists are basically professionals who study patterns of crime in a society, and let me unpack what they have to say about cybercrimes. According to the rational choice theory, a criminal is motivated to do the crime when potential benefits of committing a crime are more than the risks of getting caught and punished. It is an outcome of low entry barriers. See, this goes back to a previous discussion. Phones and cheap internet have helped the country experience massive growth, but the easy availability of both also means that crime is that much easier to practice. No fancy equipment is required to make quick buck anymore. In fact, the police force had conducted a raid in New district and arrested 66 people who had duped more than 25,000 people. But such efforts are futile, as all of the cyber crimes under the IPC except some sections are bailable, and that makes it easy for criminals to keep practicing their businesses. Second is copycat behaviors. See, in whichever region someone starts engaging in cybercrime, many others follow suit. According to social learning theory, individuals learn to engage in computer crime by observing others around them. If someone manages to buy a car or a house in the village based on the money they earn by cybercrimes, it gives the impression to others that this may be an easy way out to a better life. Lastly, unemployed and underemployed individuals are recruited and trained by cybercrime syndicates, creating a growing pool of potential criminals, thereby supporting the strain theory of criminal motivation. According to the strain theory, individuals engage in cybercrime when they experience economic hardship or social exclusion. It may also be a way for them to reduce their stress or gain a sense of power and control. Question is, what is the way out? From the standpoint of how do we solve this, the answers are not easy. They push us to evaluate how private our private information actually is. Should there be rules around how our personal data is saved? Who all are eligible to ask for it? But when you dig deeper, you realize how hairy the issue is. See, convenience, like I said before, while important and efficient, also has multiple leakages because of the sheer number of stakeholders involved.
So earlier, tackling such crimes was a task for all the law enforcement, because geographical boundaries makes it very difficult for them. So suppose a crime happens in Karnataka, a victim is from Karnataka, but unfortunately the scammer is in Jharkhand. So it becomes really difficult for Karnataka police to go all the way to Jharkhand. Also, they have to loop in different state police, which is under different government. So it was a task. And this is why, these criminals used to enjoy that, because only Jharkhand police can come and raid there, or only Haryana police can raid in Mewat region, or Rajasthan police in Bharatpur. So this they enjoyed. But thankfully, Home Ministry took the charge, and they have created something called I4C. I4C is a nodal body under Home Ministry, which takes care of it. And now they are doing a joint raids in several states. So action is being taken. Lot of monitoring is happening. Central monitoring is happening. Lot of raids are now also happening. But the unfortunate part is that these cyber criminals don't see it as a crime. They see as a skill. And also their family members who have made crores out of it, they defend them. They do not, proactively go out and tell that we have a scammer living in our area, because they think these scammers are making the area prosperous, rich. They are bringing in more money. So when police go and raid there, they pelt stone, they make a human chain, and they do different kind of tactics to save them. And all the state police faces a lot of problem. So which is why whenever now raids happen, it is done in several villages in the same time, and hundreds of police teams are made so that these criminals can be held. But that's a big task, and it also requires a lot of surveillance and a lot of human resource. Which is why it becomes difficult in in a country like India, and also the kind of geographies they are operating from. These are small scammers who are calling large number of people every day. So raiding in Jamtara is not easy because it's a forest area covered with water. So they know their local areas so well that it's easier for them to hide. And also the amount of their money they pay to the local resources who give them information that there is going to be a raid. So always there is a leak of information. So it's not easy to tap them, but definitely effort has been made by the government they identify it as a big problem and they are making efforts, but still there's a long way to go.
The moment our transactions went from changing hands to changing back-end storage units, too many people were involved and it led to a loss of accountability. For example, when an e-commerce giant experiences a data breach or the government experiences a data breach, who should be held accountable? Even if you say e-commerce should employ better security systems, a large corporation can still get away with such incidents. When Domino's experienced a cyber attack, did you stop ordering from Domino's online? When Aadhaar data was lost, did it stop being an important document? No, right? These questions make holding someone accountable difficult because a large number of customers won't stop interacting with the business or the government.
We do have a lot of officers who are working in cyber cells, but unfortunately they are not that skilled. And there's a constant upskilling is required. They need better infrastructure, and also there needs to be a proper coordination between different states, different internet service providers, different telecom giants, so that all can come together and they can proactively monitor it, and then they can stop it. But unfortunately, police is only reactive policing. If I go to the police and say that this crime has happened, they will only react then. They do not proactively stop the crime.
Any drastic changes to how data is managed and handled comes at the cost of reducing convenience, which we are now addicted to. So collectively, this is for us to think about what is the cost we are willing to pay for the convenience we enjoy. If you've seen the video till here, I also think it's important to point out what more can be done when you or someone you know experiences a cyber fraud. First, block your bank account, connect with bank authorities and tell them that your personal information has been compromised. Call 1930, that's the National Cybercrime Helpline. According to cybersecurity expert Amit Dubey, the MHA under which 1930 helpline operates is given rights to freeze accounts for 48 hours. In case you're unable to file a report online or through the helpline number, you please visit the nearest police station and register a complaint. So what is it that we as citizens can do proactively to protect our data?
We always keep saying that awareness is the only key to keep yourself safe. Because now everybody, I think somewhere they have been hit by cybercrime or they have received a phishing message or a call. But still people are falling for it. In fact, something as lame as KBC fraud, where somebody says that I'm calling from KBC and you have won the lottery, which is, this scam is running for last 12 years, but people are still falling for it. Oh. So I think there should be zero trust when it comes to online. You have to verify everything you see, every message you get, every call you get, because with AI coming into play, kind of videos Varun shows. So, it's very, very difficult to identify if it is real or fake. So verify everything. B is two-factor authentication. You always, one password is not enough. And third is you keep changing your password, and be very, very sensitive about your information. Because you buy a car, you take admission, we loosely give our Aadhaar, banking details and everything, thinking that this data will not be misused, but data is the gold mine. Based on these data, people script their scam script and they attack you. And the phishing attack is all based on data.
Now, these are all some reactive measures that you can take, but let's see how you can be a little more proactive and take some precautions to avoid this altogether. First and foremost, information and awareness is key. If you find out about some scam that's going around on WhatsApp, please inform your loved ones, your parents, grandparents, because they are way more susceptible to these frauds as opposed to you. Secondly, you will know it's a fraud if any police station calls threatening to file an FIR. As per section 41A of the Code of Criminal Procedure, if any police officer requires the participation of any individual who is not required to be fundamentally arrested, the official can give a notice for the equivalent. Because of this rise in fake police calls, Delhi police has also partnered with Truecaller to ensure that a verified badge and tick mark is present for any government service phone number. Next, definitely alert your parents about the electricity bill scam. A WhatsApp message with a demand to pay bills is a fraud tactic. Usually, all bills are sent via official handles. Next, wherever possible, please enable two-factor authentication for your online accounts linked to Aadhaar. If possible, opt for biometric authentication when conducting Aadhaar-enabled transactions. Lastly, ignore fake SMSs. You will know when to ignore if the SMS message often have an urgent tone, pressurizing users to share personal information and banking information. You're putting a document in description that'll have a list of precautions that you can share with your parents that they can carry out while making any online transaction. Now, before I end this video, I want to highlight a very small aspect on second and third order effects of any change. See, simply put, second order effects are the indirect consequences that stem from the direct or first order effects of an action or event. Now, these secondary impacts are often less obvious but can be equally, if not more significant than the initial effects. So these cybercrimes are the immediate second order effect of widespread convenience. Third order effects refer to the cascading impacts that arise from these second order effects. As the ripples spread further, these tertiary consequences become even more difficult to predict and account for. For example, India's global reputation at stake is an example of third order effects of these scams. If you or somebody you know was a victim to these cyber scams, please share your story in the comments below on how you tackled it, as it could be helpful for the viewers watching this video. Anyway, that is it for today's video. Please stay safe. My name is Achina Maya. Thank you for watching, and please don't forget to hit the subscribe button and share this video with your loved ones.